communication. So if we has a partner or the someone who give a feedback or the someone the native speaker in the language you wanted to learn, that would be much, much better. So let's aim to speak on day one. So let's study the basics first. So you cannot master a new language on one night, and it will take a long time and lots of effort. So don't spend too much time on things that you will not immediately use it. So here's few tips. Identify cognates. Cognates means a word that share the root in the different languages. So usually in the same family, language families, shares some cognates so you can guess what it means. For example, like important and then is an English word, but I believe in the Spanish was importante. Yes. And so once I have to say my apartment in the Spanish speaker, so I just say apartmente, and then I believe it works. So those kind of things are cognate. But it's good if you learn in the language in the same family. But if it is a different family, yes, it's not easy to recognize the cognates. But cognates always help you. And the master the rhythm and basic sounds early. If this is a totally different language than your first language, it is important that master the rhythm and basic sounds. And the 300 words and 30 phrases and numbers can definitely vary, but if you have this capacity and you can try to communicate and then acquire just enough grammar to allow you to construct a simple sentence. So you don't need to just go master the grammar, but just a simple grammar, you can make a basic sentence. And don't just learn the language, learn the culture too, and it will help you. So these are few basics. So now, in this program or at this, we will just introduce some resources in the Plano Public Library. And first and foremost one is a pronunciator. So pronunciator is something that language learning tool, especially it has a very powerful basic tools. So here, Maricel will show you the how to access to pronunciator and how to use the pronunciator. So I stop share here, and then Maricel will share her screen, and then she will show them how to do it. Maricel?
Hello, everybody, and I'm gonna start sharing my screen with you, and we are going to show you how to access Pronunciator. So first, you have to go to the planolibrary.org and a website, and then where it says library, you can go and hop over to the research and learn, click there, and then you can go to the databases, and we're going to look for literature and languages. There, there you can look for pronunciator, which is here, and we're going to click on access now. So pronunciator gives you like a different ways to access that. First, you can you can have instant access like this one here in, or you can register and have to track the progress of your courses. Or you can sign in into an existing account if you already have it. So let's go and explore the instant access. So we're going to click here and we're going to launch Pronunciator. And then we're going to say, I speak English. And then here you can see all the different languages that you want to learn from. So I said I want to learn Italian. And here you can see all the different lessons that you can enjoy and utilize with a pronunciator. So, like Yuna said before, you can practice vocabulary and phrases, and you can use your computer microphone to compare. You can have daily lessons, and you can also have feature films, music lyrics, and pronunciator analysis, quizzes, and in addition, Pronunciator features ESL for 50 non-languages, plus free apps for Androids, Apple, and Kindle Fire devices. Does anybody has a question?
We have one question in the chat. This person asked, is Pronunciator available remotely or do you need to be in the library?
You can use it remotely. You can use it with you can have access with your library card, with your Plano Public Library card. The only thing that you need is to have internet access. Do we have another question?
That is all for now.
Okay, so if we don't have any other question, I'm going to stop sharing and pass it to Yuna again. Thank you.
Thank you, Marisa. And I share my screen. So, yeah. Okay. So, Meg, is there any other question we need to address by now?
No other questions right now.
Okay, and then let's go. So, before the pronunciator activity, we mentioned about the multifaceted approach to learn the language. So it's the input and output and feedback. So let's dive into more detail. The first input, first thing you think about is, of course, the reading. So use materials that are slightly above your current level. That is very important because if it's very difficult one, and you will give up soon, so that's not good. And if it is too easy, and it will not improve any ability. So use the or choose and use materials that are slightly above your current level. So read text aloud in your head. Read the text aloud is better, but if you cannot, and then read text aloud in your head. So no need to look up every single unfamiliar word. If you try to understand that every word, and then you will not go just turn the page, just stuck in that page forever. So just keep feel use the direction use the dictionary only when you feel frustrated without comprehension. So just check few important word and try to understand the whole page when you read. So try to think it in a bilingual way. So what to read? Find a balance because uh, what motivates people is about the curiosity and some entertainment. If you have some fun material, fun book, and you will read it, and then so fun material will keep you engaged. But if you are only for the fun, for example, if you like the manga in Japanese, so if you only read the manga and you probably read all the slangs and then some teenagers words, but not the format, I mean the formal word. So informative materials from news and academy with a standardized grammar is also important. So try to find a balance between your reading, fun materials, and some materials that are focusing on the studying with a standardized grammar and some information.
Yuna, we have a quick question before you move on to the next part. Someone asked if you could provide an example of thinking in a bilingual way.
Oh, the bilingual way. So sometimes people were asking, especially I'll give you my example. I'm a Korean, so Korean is my first language, but I speak English. So sometimes people ask me when I think, and is it Korean or the English? And the honest answer is I don't know because it's a situation. So sometimes I think in English in the if the situation or culture is that, and then if I go back to Korea or if it's among the Koreans, and automatically it changes into Korean thinking. So that's a bilingual thinking. If you learn if you're learning a new language, try to think within your new language whenever, simply if you think about the how many apples do I buy or some, in the, like a grocery store, and those numbers you can use the like a Spanish or French or Italian you are learning. So just to try those small things. I believe that could be an example. Is there any other question?
No other questions.
Okay, so let's move. So about the listening, so what to listen to? Media and topics that interest you. So this is also the same with reading. So something that interests you. And then newscast with clear and slow pronunciation. So it's also is to try to find a balance. Some fun material that you can listen to, and also that standard material that you can study. So newscast is a good thing because it has a clear and slow pronunciation and a good grammar. So aim for variations in length and accents. That's a when you once you are accustomed to that, and you can go to the next step to aim for the variations in length or the accent. So listen actively, mean the total attention, and ask yourself question if you can in your new language, and also make observation. And we already mentioned this, imitate the rhythm of the speaker. That's very important, especially that your new language is belong to the different language family from your first language. And then listen more than once. Of course, that you have to listen in the repeated. So like listening to the audiobook, that's also the good way. When I was learning English, I tried to listen to the English audiobook the many times repeatedly. So I believe it helps me. So try it, please. And then output. It's also very important. Speak as often as possible. When you start, when you learn the new language, uh, sometimes the people are worrying because you probably made a mistake, make a mistake, or the make a wrong thing, and don't worry about that because that's what's going to happen. So just say it. Speak as open as possible. That's very important thing. And if you don't have someone in front of you, you can just sing along with the lyrics or the read the subtitles aloud in the movie or the say tongue twisters. That's difficult. And then narrate things to yourself. So we mentioned about the thinking in bilingually. So you think something and try to make try to narrate what you thought, what your thought was in your new language. So just keep practicing even you are alone. And you can try to use approximations, but remember that not every language sounds like English. So that's why we focused on the rhythms and the imitation of sounds, because there are many languages that has a sounds that does not in English, it's not that sounds, but the other language has that sound, so we cannot distinguish the sounds. That's the most difficult part. But with the practice, yeah, we can do it. And the writing. Uh, Thinking the target language and then also learn proper punctuation. Writing is important because there's a difference in acquiring language and learning language. So acquiring meaning that you can use that language, but it's in a way not the strong ground. So if you will see the children, if your child go into the playground and play with other children who speaks the other language, they will quickly just pick it up. And sometimes they can speak. But that language is not is a solidly does not have a solid ground. So the writing helps you to just keep your language in a standardized one and a formal one, and also has a solid ground. So focus on using the language of your work, and also that write in the variety of a style, and try translating. Translating is difficult, and sometimes the flashcard will help you, and the proofreading to help you. But the tip is the simple: try write something in the yes every time. Yeah. And then remember, writing is challenging even in your first language, and we all agree about that. So try to just write something, even the short vignette, or sometimes now we have a lots of internet, and then there is a comments. So you can try to write a short comments in your new language in the online. That's also another way. Yeah, I see that some raising hand. So uh, unfortunately, this the video and audio is muted. So if you have a question, yeah, please just type in a chat. Meg, could you just monitor the chatting because one person raised a hand, meaning they have a question?
Yes, I just got something in our Q&A. Someone
Mhm.
asked, do you think using Google Translate to cross-reference English to another language is a good way of learning a new language?
Oh yeah. Now we have a very good translator that the Google Translator do quite a good job. And also we have a lot of AI-based translation. So I believe that it depends on what is your purpose. So if you need to use this language, like you need to ask this question while you are traveling in the foreign language, Google Translator, yeah, helps you to do the task. And then, of course, if you keep using the translating, you will pick up few words on the other sentences. But just, uh, if your purpose is learning the new language, I'd like to recommend that try first and then with the Google Translation to check. I think that would be the better way if your purpose is learning a new language. Now we have a Google Translator, so you can check if your way of the if you speak something in the new language, is it correct one or is there other way to say it? If it if you don't have anyone to ask, and then you can ask Google Translator. So I think that that's the way. So it depends on what your goal is on the situation. So let's move on. Now, feedback. So we just talk about the Google Translator as an alternative way if you don't have anyone to help us. So connect with others because as we said, the language is for communication. So connecting with someone who speaks your target language or studying together, that's also good. And here's my experience. Long time ago when I tried to learn English, there was a fellow student who's a Japanese. So I don't speak Japanese and she doesn't speak Korean. But we both tried to learn English. We both did not speak English well, but somehow we communicated quite well. And then I couldn't communicate with my teacher, who's an English speaker, but I could communicate with my fellow student who's learning English with me as quite well. So I think it helps us both in a way. So if you cannot find someone who speaks your target language, just get a buddy who learn this language together. So it's you can result in timely feedback, also practice opportunity and cultural insight. So those things will help you improve your language. And then some ways to make a new friend or find exchange partners. There's always class you can go and the language learning site and apps and meetup, social media or pen pals, and even the library classes and conversational English. We will talk about it later. So those kind of the classes, and always you can find someone. So here's the way to how to keep going on. There's a two way. First, learn through immersion, meaning this can help just mimic how a child learns their first language. So just keep doing. That's this way. So various forms of media in the target language. So just watch the movies and shows and read the books, listen to music and podcasts. and practice speaking at every opportunity. And also, if you travel that the place that use that language, that's great. And so create an immersive environment at home. Whenever you try to say something, you can name the things in your targeted language. So that is the everyday trying. So that's a one way. And also you need to do another way, that's a make a study plan, because language, you acquire the language and also you learn the language. So one way, try everything in your everyday life, but another way, you need to make a study plan and do the studying. So set a learning goal for a period of study, as well as a smaller milestones, and set aside time each day. For example, Monday to Friday, 15 minutes of new vocabulary in the morning, something like that. Now we have a language learning app, so you can use it every day, 5 minutes, something like that. So daily and or the weekend, you can set a time and make a plan and visualize the good study habits. So study mindful of keeping up with the routine and pair study routines with small symbolic gestures. And of course, use a calendar. So do we have any question, Meg?
No questions right now.
Okay. So a few final tips. And first, be patient and persistent. Yeah, these two P's are very important because we will not master the new language in a short time period. So we need to be patient and also persistent and try using the new vocabulary as soon as you have learned it. And then try learning a skill in the language you are learning. That means that if you learn the new language, try to giving a direction or the trying to uh, let let the people tell the people that how to use these things in your new language. That will help you. And then don't avoid the translation tool. Yes, Google Translate is good. And then consider using digital tools, yes, such as learning apps. We have a lot of the apps and translators and AI-based learning modules. So keep a journal and write about your progress. And also find a learning method that makes it fun for you. That's also very important last tip. So now I wish you good luck to your new language. And here's the library resources that can help you. So browse online in our Plano Public Library website that Maricel just showed you. And then check out library resources for the language learning. So first, we already show you the pronunciator. So you can always access online and go to pronunciator. And also, if you go there and if we have a database called that the Canopy, it's a streaming service. In the Canopy, among the movies, there are good movies. So if you try, you can try the foreign movies. And but there's also the called the great courses about the language learning. And of course, LinkedIn Learning and Udemy, they have a very good language learning courses. You can use them with our library card. And we have a launch pad, meaning some tablet or with some language learning programs and also bilingual backpacks. It's for the children, but the adult also can use the flashcard and things. And we have lots of books and CD for the foreign language learning or English language learning. And then connect with each other. And then you might find a language exchange partner. So Meg will put and some links in the chat for these resources. So you can use that links, or you can just visit our Plano Public Library website and then use that, look for these resources. So do you have a question? Meg, do we have any final questions?
I'm not seeing anything in the chat or the Q&A right now.
Okay, so thank you for attending this virtual program. As I said, this program is recorded and probably uploaded in our Plano Public Library YouTube channel sometime later. And So we will just hang around a few more minutes for you use the chat. And then so thank you again and good luck for your new language learning journey.
All right, we have a few questions now.
Okay, so let's do it.
First question is, can you go into detail about launch pads?
Oh, Launchpad is something you can think about the iPad that has just one learning program installed. So you can check out that the tablet and there is a one learning that's the program is installed. And if it is a language one, we have some language learning one. So there's a language learning program installed. So you can check it out and use it.
All right, next question. Any recommendations for finding other people learning languages?
Okay, so that's a things are this program is based on the English speakers, but if you are interested to other languages, and probably you can help with the people who speaks the other language but wanted to learn the English. So, for example, you can do the volunteering for library programs. We have a conversational English program, which is just a freely people joining us and practice English. So if you are English speaker and wanting to learn new language, and you may volunteer that kind of the conversational partner or the conversation, not just the library, but many organizations and schools like universities have that conversational program. So you may volunteer that conversational program and find someone and can help each other. So English and the new language.
And someone just answered that question.
Mhm.
They said that Meetup is a good place to find language learning friends.
Yes, I think that we mentioned the Meetup in that slide also. So
Mhm.
Meetup is also for the different purposes and finding the language partner. That's also a good way to try.
Let's see. The next question was great courses in Canopy. Do they require tickets to take those classes? We're limited to 16 tickets per month.
Yes, I'm not sure because there was a time that the grade courses were exceptional, but recently I tried, they just mercilessly take my tickets. So currently, yes, just make a plan that you need to use your tickets. So,
Okay. The next question, someone asked, Yuna, how long did it take you to learn English?
oh, it's years and years and years. So yes, I learned English is as a student in the middle school and high school and even the college. But when I came to the US years ago, I believe that's actually I started to learn English. So this was my problem. We mentioned about the multifaceted approach, so input and output. The education I got back in Korea was mostly focused on the reading and writing. So I can do reading, but I cannot speak. That was my problem. So that makes me that takes us it takes me just the long years to just master, catch up those things. So I strongly recommend if you try to learn new language, and please do the multifaceted approach, reading, writing, listening, and also the speaking all together. Oh, but don't discourage it because uh, it takes long time for me to do this program. Yeah, being able to do this program, but just a simple conversation and enjoy the life with friends. Yeah, it takes just a couple of years. And so, is there any other question, Matt?
That was the last question for
Mhm.
now.
Okay, and again, thank you for joining us. And we'll hang around a couple of minutes and then we'll end up the live webinar. Thank you and have a good day.